Tom Hardy had walked onto the stage of Jimmy Kimmel Live with his usual smirk and magnetic energy. The crowd erupted in cheers as he shook Kimmel's hand and settled into the guest chair. Dressed in a fitted navy suit, Hardy looked every bit the confident star he was known to be. It started like any other appearance, a couple of jokes, a movie plug, some small talk about LA traffic. But it didn't take long for things to get weird. Kimmel, as part of his usual comedic tone, brought up Hardy's reputation for being intense, joking that working with him must be like handling a moody lion in a small room. The audience chuckled, but Hardy's expression didn't budge. He tilted his head slightly, eyes narrowing, and replied, "Moody lion, that's a new one." The audience laughed again, but this time it felt uneasy. Something had shifted in Hardy's tone. What was supposed to be a playful jab now sat awkwardly between them, the tension building by the second. Kimmel, perhaps sensing the discomfort, tried to diffuse the situation with another joke. "Hey, it's a compliment," he said. "I mean, lions are powerful, majestic, a broken bar, also a bit unpredictable." The audience laughed politely, but Hardy's gaze didn't soften. "Unpredictable?" he repeated, his voice cool. "Or do you just mean you don't know what to do when someone doesn't play along with your script?" Kimmel blinked, caught off guard. "Well, I just meant he began, but Hardy cut him off. "No, I get it," Hardy continued. "You invite people on here to entertain, and you prod them with a stick until they bark back for ratings. But maybe not everyone likes being poked." The room was silent. It wasn't the kind of angry outburst people expected. It was colder, calmer, and somehow more intimidating. Kimmel laughed awkwardly, trying to keep things light, but Hardy's demeanor remained unchanged. The energy had shifted, and now all eyes were on him, not with admiration, but concern. Trying to regain control of the conversation, Kimmel asked Hardy about his upcoming film. "So, let's talk about your new role. You play a reclusive war vet, right?" It was a blatant attempt to change course, but Hardy wasn't ready to move on. "You know," he said slowly, "it's fascinating how this works. You bring someone in, smile for the cameras, then make them the punchline. And if they push back, suddenly they're the problem." The audience didn't know whether to laugh or stay silent. Kimmel fumbled to a smile. "It's all in good fun, mate," he said. "You know that, right?" Hardy leaned forward, staring directly into Kimmel's eyes. "Good fun isn't one-sided. When you make fun of someone's personality, call it intense, and paint them as volatile, you're not joking, you're boxing them in." The crowd was uneasy. This wasn't a meltdown, it was a controlled demolition. Hardy wasn't yelling, but the weight behind his words made each sentence feel like a punch to the gut. Behind the cameras, producers began shifting nervously. This wasn't the playful drama that makes for viral clips. This was something raw. Hardy's fans knew him for being authentic, but few had seen him this direct, especially on live TV. Kimmel tried again, gesturing toward the band. Okay, let's lighten things up," he said. "How about we hear what your co-stars do?" It's hilarious. A clip played on the screen behind them, showing Hardy's co-star joking in a press junket about how Hardy liked to stay in character and scare everyone. The crowd laughed. Hardy didn't. When the clip ended, he turned slowly back to Kimmel. "You planned that, didn't you?" he asked. "You lined it all up to make me look like a lunatic." Kimmel raised his hands in mock defense. "It's just part of the show," he said. But Hardy's face was stone. "No," he replied. "It's part of your show, not mine. And I'm not here to be your circus act." What followed was a long, heavy pause. Kimmel chuckled nervously, murmuring, "Come on, Tom, we're all friends here." But Hardy wasn't having it. "You want me to smile and play nice," he said, "while you pull clips and push jokes that paint me like some kind of unstable maniac." He gestured to the audience. "They think it's funny because you frame it that way. But there's a line between comedy and character assassination." Kimmel tried to pivot again, his voice shaking slightly. "We're just celebrating your passion," he said. "You're one of the greats." Hardy scoffed. "If you respected that, you wouldn't weaponize it for laughs." The crowd was now deathly quiet. There was no recovery happening. Hardy leaned back, his jaw tense. "I've played villains," he said, but I've never let someone turn me into one for free." The show's tone had officially imploded. Producers scrambled to decide whether to cut to commercial or ride out the chaos. In a final effort to salvage things, Kimmel reached for his cards, stammering, "All right, let's talk about something positive. You recently worked with children on a charity project, right? But Hardy didn't bite. Now you want to steer it toward good press?" "After 5 minutes of setting me up to be mocked?" His voice rose slightly, not in a yell, but in firm challenge. "You think bringing up charity now makes you look balanced? That's manipulation, not balance." The studio audience began murmuring. Some fans shifted in their seats, others glanced at the exits. This wasn't what they signed up for, and yet they couldn't look away. Kimmel's face flushed, his grin reduced to tight-lipped discomfort. Hardy turned toward the cameras. "Let this be a reminder," he said. "Respect isn't earned through fake praise, it's earned through honesty, even when it's not funny." The audience was stunned. In one appearance, Tom Hardy had flipped the script, taken control, and redefined the limits of live entertainment.